Hey everybody, it's low carb and keto nutrition specialist Amy Berger bringing you, as always, keto without the crazy. Before I get into today's topic, just a couple of quick announcements that I think you are going to want to be part of. So, you've heard me mention in the past the Keto Made Simple Masterclass. It's from the company Adapt Your Life. I helped create it. Dr. Westman himself, my co-author on the book End Your Carb Confusion, is the one who teaches the class. If you want what we call prescription strength keto, you want to do keto the right way, the effective way, and the safe way, and get results that you maybe have not been getting doing crazy Wild West internet keto on your own, do check out the Keto Made Simple Masterclass. We are running the 6th cohort. We've done this course 5 times already. Cohort 6 is coming up very beginning of April, but get on the wait list now, because if you sign up for the wait list, you will be notified as soon as the course is open to purchase and go through the videos, which are self-paced. So there's a link below, Keto Made Simple Masterclass. We also are introducing a brand new course that is so good, I cannot even tell you. It's about food and sugar addiction. This is a huge gaping hole in the keto low carb world. Very few people are talking about food addiction and sugar addiction. And if you think that there's no such thing as sugar addiction or food addiction, then it's only because you are not a sugar addict or a food addict, so you are not able to comprehend that some of us really do have severe addiction issues. All right. I think the page for the food and sugar addiction course will be live and available by the time I publish this video. So if so, you'll see a link below. If not, just check back in a couple of days. That course probably won't be until maybe the end of April or May. I think it's going to be given in May, but again, click on the link to get on the wait list, because that way, as soon as it's available, you will get notified. Okay, that's the main stuff. On to the topic. I have a tiny bit of notes. I have a paper covered in like all kinds of notes, but for this video, just a teeny tiny bit of notes. So, as you can probably imagine, I get a lot of emails and inquiries, whether directly written to me or maybe like on Twitter. Can I do keto if, and fill in the blank? Can I do keto if I don't have a gallbladder? Can I do keto if I'm on X medication? Can I do keto if I have acid reflux? Or the other version of this same type of question is, does keto work for, and insert the condition, right? Does keto work for PCOS? Does keto work for migraines? Does keto work for, fill in your condition? And the answer is almost always yes. Yes, you can do keto if, fill in the blank. Yes, keto works for, fill in the blank. However, before I get into the details, big reminder and disclaimer that I am not a doctor and this is not medical advice. This is just what I know about keto. So, couple of really kind of funny or interesting things when it comes to these type of questions, right? Can I do keto if? And I'll link, because I actually did a post about keto and gallbladder, because that's a big one that comes up very often, but that's just one example out of the many. So, you know, something that's really, it always strikes me as funny when people ask, can I do keto if I have list of conditions? And nobody ever really stops to ask, can I keep eating the stuff I've been eating that probably made this stuff happen in the first place? You know, and that's not a judging, that's not like a victim blaming, shaming thing, because there are lots and lots of medical conditions that happen unrelated to diet. So let's be clear about that. Like, what you eat doesn't always cause problems that you may have, but it does very often, especially these sort of non-communicable metabolic type problems. So it's funny how someone will say, you know, well, I have type 2 diabetes. My doctor said I have to have this many carbs. Well, you're already eating way more carbs than that. And how's that working for you with your diabetes? How's that working for you with the gout? How's okay, you have obesity, type 2 diabetes, PCOS, you've got skin tags, you've got migraines, you've got heartburn, you've got joint pain. how's your current diet working for you? How much worse could keto possibly be? Maybe like give it a try, because clearly what you're eating now isn't working so well for you, right? You've got this laundry list of stuff. Or even if you don't have a laundry list, maybe you have one or two things, but they're pretty severe. Clearly, however you are eating and or living now, not helping much to have prevented or reverse or improve those conditions, right? No one ever really asks, like, oh, is it safe to do keto if? Well, clearly it's not really safe to eat what you're eating now or what you've been eating for the past 20 or 60 years. How much more dangerous could keto possibly be? So that's funny. Like, oh, can I keep eating my breakfast cereal and my skim milk and my fruit smoothie and my pastry and my, French fries or my rice cakes and applesauce? Like nobody, isn't that funny? Nobody stops to ask, like, if okay, that horse is dead, I'm going to stop eating it. Um, let's see. Two other things. With well, no, more than two other things. There's almost no reason why you can't do keto. The only reasons I'm aware of are very rare inborn genetic errors of metabolism. So like a genetic condition where you do not produce an enzyme or you produce too much or too little of an enzyme, typically things that are involved in the digestion of fat. And these things are very rare. If you were born with one of these, you would probably know it because it would have been identified almost immediately after your birth or in your childhood, it would have been identified. So other than that, there's really no what we call contraindications, nothing that would absolutely medically disqualify you from doing keto. There may be reasons why it's not a good idea for you to do keto, and it's not going to give, it's more like history of eating disorders, all kind of stuff, although keto can be helpful for that. There's issues where you may want to consult a professional or you might want to think twice about what exactly keto is and if that's going to be a sensible thing for you to do. But it's not medically contraindicated, like it's not physically dangerous for you to do. So there's really, I in my experience, in my professional experience doing this with, helping people with low carb and keto diets, I am not aware of anything that gets worse on keto. Things either get better, they get much better, or kind of neutral, like nothing changes, nothing good or bad. Things just stay the same as they were. And so we know things can improve. We know things can massively improve. We have, people all over the place getting off their insulin for type 2 diabetes, getting off oral medications. We've got people with type 1 diabetes massively reducing the doses of insulin that they require, right? Because they're eating so much less carbohydrate. We've got women conceiving children naturally after being diagnosed with PCOS. We've got people totally reversing non-alcoholic fatty liver. We've got skin clearing up. We've got joint pain and migraines going away, heartburn going away. So like, I just, let me repeat, in my experience, I'm not aware of anything that's ever gotten worse with keto. It either gets better, it gets much better, or nothing happens, no change. Now that's not to say that there's never anything in the world ever that doesn't get worse. I'm just saying I haven't seen it, but I'm only one nutritionist on the planet. So anyway, with that in mind, that like most things get better, I'll share with you what I got from Rob Wolf. You all know Rob Wolf, like one of my favorite people, one of the people that I think is left with integrity and honesty in the ancestral health, low carb sort of keto space. He used to say this about paleo, but we can say it about keto just as easily. He used to call it his greasy used car salesman pitch. Like when someone says, well, I have X and Y condition, should I try paleo? Or did you know if paleo works for a thing? And he would also give it a try, take it out for a test drive, give it a spin, see what you think. Do for whatever you are dealing with, give it a try. Do keto, do low carb, give it 2 months or so and see what happens. Don't give it a week or two. Give it time to make some of the metabolic changes it needs to make. Give it time. But give it a try, because your condition will likely either get better, get a lot better, or nothing's going to happen. And if nothing happens, or if it gets better regardless of the outcome, then you can decide if you want to keep going. Is it worth it to you to keep going? Did your condition, or conditions, plural, improve enough that it's worth you to continue following a low carb or ketogenic diet? Or is a higher carbohydrate intake worth it to you? Is it a sensible trade-off to you that you want to eat the carbs, and because you want to eat the carbs, you accept that you're still going to have acne and skin tags and high testosterone with PCOS, and you're going to have type 2 diabetes or whatever? And you're a grown adult. You're allowed to make that decision. Maybe that is a fair trade-off for you. Maybe you say, you know what? I know that every time I eat bread, I get a migraine. I really want to eat my damn bread, and I'm going to have it. So that's up to you. You're a grown adult. Or I hope you're a grown adult. I don't know why an 8-year-old would be watching this video. But so that's, once you've given keto a try and you see what it does, then you can make an informed decision as to whether or not you want to continue. Now, actually, before I forget, let me just go back to what I said about nothing gets worse and it's safe. If you are taking certain medications, then I definitely advise you to work with a doctor when you start a very low carb or ketogenic diet. Don't do it on your own. It's not that the diet is unsafe or it's a problem, but you, particularly if you have type 1 or type 2 diabetes or hypertension, high blood pressure, and you are on medication, you cannot really take the same dose of medication that you're taking when you eat 200 or 300 grams of carbs a day, when all of a sudden one day you're going to wake up and have 20 grams of carbs that day, or 30 or 40 grams of carbs. You might put yourself into a very dangerous medical situation by taking too much medicine. When the medication dose is titrated to your blood sugar or to your blood pressure or to your carbohydrate intake, that's bad juju. So that's, again, not there's nothing wrong with the diet. We just don't want you to mismatch the diet with your medication. And that's very easily resolved and controlled and monitored, but work with a physician. And I know it's hard to find doctors that understand this and that get it. I'll put links below. There's at least 2 or 3 sites that you can search for keto-friendly medical professionals and nutrition professionals. And I think both 2 of them include international listings. So if you're watching this outside the US, you might still be able to find somebody. Okay. So if, like, say, if you feel worse, like a keto doesn't make anything worse, your blood sugar might be going too low, your blood pressure might be going too low, and you start to get woozy or dizzy. And so you might feel worse, but it's actually because keto is effective and it's already starting to improve things. And now your medication is a mismatch for how well you are already doing because of keto. Okay. The second big thing I wanted to talk about, besides the whole, like, when people, can I do keto if, and nobody's asking, should I keep eating what I'm already doing that got me this sick in the first place? Like, is it safe for me to eat that? SHIT? Those of you that follow Dr. Ken Berry, and if you don't, go follow him now. So Ken Berry doesn't really use the K word, right? Keto, because keto means a million different things to different people, and it can be very off-putting if somebody thinks that it's nothing but burger patties with bacon. Frankly, I don't really see anything wrong with that, but that's not what most of us think of as keto. We think of it as a wide variety of foods that just happen to be low in carbohydrate. So Ken Berry coined the phrase proper human diet, right? He calls it the proper human diet. And the reason he does that is because that encompasses kind of a spectrum of real food, even though I hate that term, it's just easy to use, a spectrum of real food that's mostly low carb, but not all keto, like low carb to keto to carnivore, like it spans that low-ish carb spectrum. And he calls it the proper human diet because that way, anytime any of these questions ever come up, the answer becomes self-evident and the question itself becomes ridiculous. The proper human diet, let's say meat, vegetables, and fruit, if you can tolerate fruit, meat, vegetables, fruit, dairy, eggs, whatever you tolerate, these types of things, like foods that humans have been eating for thousands of years, right? So now say, can I eat the proper human diet if I don't have a gallbladder? Can I eat the proper human diet if I'm a cancer survivor? Can I eat the proper human diet if I have diabetes? It's like, did you hear yourself? Did you hear what you just asked? Can I eat human people food? Can I eat like real normal food if I have X? Well, why wouldn't you be able to? I mean, I know the problem, the reason, I mean, proper human diet is such a brilliant phrase because it makes those questions ridiculous. Can children, like can kids eat keto? Is it safe for kids to eat keto? Can children consume the proper human diet? Can kids eat the proper human diet? My husband's in the military. My wife is in the military. Can they eat the proper human diet? Like, the reason people ask, can I do keto if X situation, is because again, keto, people have a very biased, prejudiced, incorrect, in my mind, opinion of what keto is. They hear keto, and again, they see a stack of burger patties with bacon, with butter, like melted butter, dripping all over it. Now that sounds pretty friggin' delicious to me, and some people do eat that all the time. But for most of us, keto is, depending on your tolerances and culture and religion and physical sensitivity, keto is going to be beef, pork, lamb, bison, seafood, eggs, non-starchy vegetables, limited amounts of fruit, nuts and seeds, high-fat dairy products. It's array like you could look at that array of food and think that it's a really wholesome, nutritious, healthy diet. So that's the problem. It's not like that's why people have to ask, because they think, or they've heard on the interwebs, right, that keto is this extreme restrictive fad kind of thing, and like you have to have these products and drink your ketones and all this. And so if that's what you think keto is, then it makes sense that you would ask, is that crazy wackadoodle nut job diet safe for me to do if I have a history of, I don't know, whatever. But when you know keto the way I know keto, or what I would rather call low carb, and even that is fraught. Even people would ask, I have no gallbladder, can I do low carb? Like, when you think of keto as just a wholesome way to eat, these questions become like almost nonsensical. Like, you don't even have to ask. Of course you can do keto. Of course you can do the proper human diet. So let me see if I think that's kind of all I wanted to say about that. And like Rob Wolf said, give it a try. It's either gonna help you or it's not. But if you are gonna give it a try and you take certain medications, give it a try under supervision if those things need to be adjusted. And I don't know what else to say. Let me make sure I don't have more notes for this. Yeah, I mean, what keto really does is normalize your physiology. It keeps insulin at a healthy lowish level most of the time. It keeps blood sugar at a healthy lowish level most of the time, although it's okay if it fluctuates and varies. Like it's okay if your glucose is not a flat line all day. Um, so keto just it just kind of smooths things out. It's I mean, entire lectures, entire textbooks have been written by this point about the mechanisms by which it does all this and the mechanisms by which it helps migraine or fatty liver or glycogen storage diseases and conditions that are very, very common and very rare. The point is, like, the easiest way to say it is keto just induces certain metabolic changes and pathways that just kind of make a lot of things a lot better than they are when people eat garbage all the time. So, is keto safe for X? Can I do keto if I have Y? Yes, very likely, probably, but please be careful if you do have a lot of medical conditions. Work with a professional before you embark onto this just so you can do it safely. And again, I'll put links to sites where you can search for just such professionals. Thanks for watching. Remember to also check out the Keto Made Simple Masterclass. That's a great way to get started. We cannot individualize your medication, but if you want to do keto in an effective, safe, down-to-earth, non-crazy way, then do check out the Keto Made Simple and get on the wait list for the food addiction course. All right, see you next time.